I think it's a lot of fun. This is my first one locally.
Convention's great. I've been here every year.
Great venue.
The growing comic book convention, All Americon, filled Packard Music Hall in Warren on Sunday, with patrons and characters from every universe coming out for the event.
I like it. It's local. What better place for Captain America to be than All Americon?
Here we see Captain America and Red Skull.
He needs someone to keep an eye on him.
It was part of the parole.
So I figured, you know what, we'll see how he is. And so far he's behaved.
Secretly, I'm here looking for some Hydra recruits.
If he gets out of line, then it's back to the prison for him.
Hell, Hydra.
Everything's been running smooth as silk. I can't complain. I've got great friends that help volunteer, and the guests have been great.
Greg puts on a really good show. He goes out of his way to make sure that that we're supported. You know, he markets not just the show, but he markets the people setting up here too for him.
Well, my mother found out through Facebook, and she knows that my sister and I are huge nerds, so we just all came.
I heard it on the radio like the first day, and I've been planning on coming ever since.
I found a bunch of cool comic books and stuff, and I'm really into like different comic books.
David Bowie and some Riddler.
I actually really like the vendors.
I just always was attracted to the artwork first and foremost. If I saw something I like, I bought it, and it just kind of goes from there. I try to price everything to sell, so I'm in the value price range.
Last year was a success for me, I thought, and I really enjoyed it. So this year I'm doing it again, and I added to my repertoire of I have a lot of watercolor artwork, so I'll do like the drawing in pencil and then use like ink.
I'm doing this myself. It's my illustration. I mean, I call it Zen Graphics. I also do some gaming material, and I do artwork for it that I put out on it called Undercity Games.
On the front stage were special guest artists Daryl Banks, Mike Okamoto, Michael San Giacomo, and James O'Barr.
I had a friend that did this show last year, and he said he had a really good time, so I agreed to come out.
I didn't know that we would be allowed to walk up and see the people. I didn't know it. I didn't even expect to get an autograph or even get to see him, let alone meet him.
I love to tell a story, and it's a very personal story too. Honestly, I didn't think I would have a lot of readers because it's I don't want to say it's confusing, but it starts in the middle and works its way backwards. In fact, it took about 5 years the general public to come around to how I was thinking, so I think I was a little bit ahead of the curve. And I have faith that whatever I do is going to be successful, because if I like it, and I'm not that different from the general public, so it's just like if I like it, I'm sure they're going to like it as well.
In 1993, I started a national comic book column out of the Plain Dealer. And so I would have a weekly column that was published in papers all over the country.
I enjoyed working on Green Lantern because even though he's a superhero, especially the one that I'm most affiliated with, Kyle Rayner, he's an artist and so am I, so I was able to put a little bit of myself into how he creates things with the ring and that sort of thing, and to show some possibilities that maybe other Green Lanterns haven't exhibited.
One day, Marvel's publisher said, hey, we're looking for new characters, do you want to do a book? I said, sure. So I pitched Phantom Jack, the adventures of a newspaper reporter who can turn invisible. And my logic was that invisibility was the weakest power you could have, but here's what you can do with it if you've got some ideas.
If you have something you love, do that. It started out, after I got out of art school, I picked up the colored pencils. And I used to do everything by colored pencil. And that's how I discovered the nuances I want to do color-wise. Eventually, I realized that just for time and speed, that I could achieve that same color. I realized I could do it with the airbrush, and that sped up, and that kind of opened up a whole other sensibility, too.
Along with vendors and artists, cosplayers were out in full swing, with some giving insight on the performance art.
I started cosplaying a few years ago, but this is one of the biggest ones I've ever done.
Like anyone can do it. Like you don't have to be the body type. You don't have to do any of that, to be this character. And being able to discover these ideas of how I would make my costumes. So I started from there.
Kind of weirded by technology thing you keep sticking down throats. Today I heard there's going to be many bounties on target, so I figure I'd come and get cash reward. Happy fun time.
With the convention growing every year, promoter Greg Bartholomew says a larger venue will be needed for All-Americon 8.
Next year, July 8th and 9th at the Cavelli Center in downtown Youngstown.
All right, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better.
Bigger and better. We'll try.